So welcome everybody to unit number 3. In unit number 3, we're going to be solving this Pareto chart, and we're going to try to understand what the Pareto chart will help us with. So in this case, when we need to design a service, we need to understand what are the problems with it. And based on that, we will redesign it. Because if we realize, for example, that let's say in McDonald's, people complain that the employees are rude. People complain that the facilities are dirty. People complain that the orders have a lot of mistakes. So when I start to do the frequency of those problems, then I start to realize that mostly the problem is caused by what? By the humans, means by the men, means the training perhaps is not done properly, or as a method the training is not achieving the goals that I want to, or I have to check what's going on in there. So in this case, we're going to look at this one. So for example, we look at recent Gallup poll of 519 adults who flew in the past year found the following number of complaints about flying. So cramped seats, a cost, dislike of fear flying. So based on those problems, I need to realize which ones are the most frequent. Okay, so what I'm gonna do in here is pretty simple. What I'm gonna do is just gonna fill them, okay, according to each one of them. Then the first question that we have in there is So the first question that I'm going to have in here is what percentage of those surveyed found nothing they dislike? So I need to find out that because it was not mentioned. If you realize here I have 519, that's the total, but if I add all of this ones, it's going to give me 421. That one I already calculated for you. So what I have to do is, first of all, how many complain about nothing? Then I have to figure out that number. 519 minus 421, it's going to be 98. So I'm just going to copy there. Okay, so then I have to calculate in based on percentage how much each one of them is out of the 100%. So what I'm going to do is this one, which is this cell. Let me make it easy for you if not. Equals B3 divided by this one, which is B. I need to put here this one to lock that, otherwise just follow it. 15. Then I'm gonna do it like that, and then it's there. Okay, if you automatically didn't do a percentage for you, is you have to click this one. Okay, me, because I already have that button in percentage. If not if yours is gonna be like that, then because I click percentage, then it appears like that. Okay, so when we look at this one here, we're gonna have that 19%. Well, anyways, doesn't matter. I'm not gonna use that tool because it sucks. So in this one, 19% of the people don't complain about anything. Is it a good percentage? No, it's not a good percentage. So anyways, we have that, and then okay, here we can even look at we can do some conditional formatting to do a little bit of more colors. Which one is the best one? So in this case, you realize that, let me pass it again to black. Okay, if we do it in percentage, well, we have, it's almost the second highest. They complain about nothing, but then we have security measures. They complain a lot about it. Anyways, this is not a Pareto chart. This is just a traffic light to see which ones. Visually, it works good for us because in percentage we want to know, but we need to know in cumulative how much is what each one of them. So I'm gonna select all these ones. Make sure you don't select the total, because if you select the total, it's gonna mess the chart. Okay, so you're gonna go here to insert, you click it, and then you're gonna see this one. Be careful, this is the statistic chart is for histograms, not bar chart. So you have to be careful, because if you do bar chart, you have to do it on your own. So anyways, look for this button, and then you're gonna press it, and then you're gonna have here two options: histogram like this one or histogram like this one. So I'm gonna choose this one. Okay, So that is already the Pareto chart, and that works very, very well. Now, in this one, I have to add the cumulative, which is axis title, which is going to add in terms of cumulative what's going on. Okay, so here I need to look where the bars, where the chart of the cumulative makes the 80%. What are 80% of the problems? And I need to figure out why those 80% of things what that 20% of things are accountable for maybe all of the problems. Okay, so we have to figure out what is going on in here. Okay, so in this case, for example, let's see if I can make a line. Okay, here I'm going to insert a line. You don't have to do it, you just need to observe what's going on in here. So for example, here I have, let me choose one line. Let me see if I have this one. So in this one, I'm going to insert a line which calculates the 80%. Okay, 80% is there. Okay, so cumulatively, where creates the 80%? I'm gonna do one more. So where these lines intersect. Okay, so these lines intersect in this. Here I can consider other, but I don't know what they're other, so I'm just gonna say that these four causes are creating the whole problem. So I have security, nothing, that is not. So I have security, dislike of fear, or late planes. So what could be the problem? Is it men? So in this case, I need to do an analysis. So I realize that actually these problems maybe cause them other, that I don't know what's going on in there. But anyways, for this one, I can say many of the problems, in this case, like almost 80% of the problems are caused by these 2 or 3 problems. Okay, that's how the Pareto chart works. So in this case, let's look at this one, security. Security measures. The security measures is not saying about security personnel. So in this case, for example, security measures then is here. Security measures is part of the method. Okay. Then nothing with nothing. Dislike of fear, or dislike or fear of flying. Why is it? Well, probably is here. Okay. Late planes, waiting time. That could be the machine, because maybe the late planes are because of mechanical problems. Again, we can think a bit forward and say, well, maybe it's because the training of the employees are not checking in the mean or problem. So in this case, well, let's attribute it because of the machines. Okay, so in this case, late planes is from there. Okay, here, for example, that's it. When we want to set the example, for example, in terms of let's say here, the food and the cramp seats. Cramp seats could be, in this case, could be the materials, maybe the cramp seats. I think I'm between the machines, between the machines and the materials. But let's put food. Food is part of it. Okay. So in this case, we have there the Pareto chart, and we can see that 80% of the problems cumulatively caused all the problem. You see, it's one, well, technically 3 things are causing most of the things. So if I solve security, dislike of fear, and late planes wait, mostly 80% of my complaints will be solved, and the rest are very minimal. It's just 20%. So actually, what do I want? To target most of the complaints, or go one by one? If I am ineffective, what I'm gonna do is resolve one by one. But what happens if I solve this one, and this one? I solve so many, but in the end, I just solve 20% of the problems. But I want to solve 80% of the problems here, right? Here I want to solve all these, well, 1, 2, 3, and almost 4 if I have the reason, but I don't have the reason, so it's only 3. that will solve 80%. And in this case, for example, if I want to solve also in other, I have to figure out what are those problems so I can solve it effectively. Okay, so this is again operations where one action or two actions solve 80% of the problem rather than many actions solve many problems. Many of you in the exam do this big mistake, which is solve one by one by one by one. No, I need two solutions that mostly solve 80% of them. Okay, so that here you solve this will solve 80% of what's going on. Okay, and in this case we have the Ishikawa, which we can put there, and then we can see, for example, so we have to solve these problems in terms of the machines. Maybe we need to set a standard of checking the airplanes more often, right? And maybe making the waiting time more efficient, maybe by entertaining the consumers. In terms of the method of security, we need to perhaps have a better flow into the security lines so that they can work faster. And then in terms of, for example, the dislike or fear of flying, if they complain about that, then I have to perhaps have a video that teaches the consumer how nothing's going to happen. Maybe we show some graphs before the plane flies that they show that there's no problem in flying. Okay, so here we have it like this. So again, remember, efficient solutions. Solving this solves 80% of your problems, and that's what I want to do. Okay, thank you so much. Try this one. You have to do it on your own, and then you have to answer all the questions on your own. Thank you so much.